How can you pump in 3 degrees? Okay, maybe it's because I'm used to other temperatures, but the water is 9 degrees and the outside temperature is like 13 or something like that. I spent into water 20 minutes or something like that, 25 maybe, and I'm dying. I also had probably the worst session in the last month. Yesterday I had the worst session in a month. I quit before even completing a decent launch. There are many factors. First of all, it was cold. I'm not used to this cold. It was 10 degrees Celsius and the water was at 9, and I only had this 3mm wetsuit. Next time I will for sure try to put on this 6mm top with hood that I have. For sure it's gonna be better, and hopefully I will be able to stay in the water a little bit longer, because really every time I was falling into water it was painful. That's why I was kind of scared to fall into water and I couldn't focus at all. Every time I was getting out of the water, I felt this incredible cold on my chest, and really, my mind was completely gone. It was impossible to stay focused on the movement. It was hard also because I stopped Dockstarting like 2-3 months ago, so I had to take back the muscle memory for that movement. But at that point, a question came to my mind. Isn't it better to jumpstart than Dockstart? Because think about it, okay? Probably Dockstarting is a little bit easier because you already have a little bit of speed when you're on the board, okay? But actually, it requires more coordination because you need to combine more movement. It's harder to get on top of the board with the feet in the right placement when the board is moving fast. So probably static starting or jump starting, however you want to call it, it's easier, even for a beginner, because once you learn the movement, it's easier to be consistent, because there are less factors into play. From one side, you need to run, move your hands, jump. It's harder to not to pitch the board down while you're jumping. And then you need to get on top of the board with the feet in right placement while the board is moving. And then you need also to get the balance. And again, it's harder because it's harsh. It's an harsh movement. You're getting on top of the board with a lot of forces into play. On the other hand, on the static start, it's a little bit easier to control. It's like you have more time to think about what you have to do. You have time to prepare, and you really just give this little push on the board, quickly change your hands, I mean in my technique, and then you get on top of the board. So for sure it's easier to get on top of the board with the right feet placement, and also you are less likely to be pressing with your front hand and pitching the board down, which is exactly what you don't want to do when you're just starting. Because if you pitch the board down even just by a little bit, when you don't have speed, boom, you're gonna sink straight away. And this is exactly what's happened to me yesterday. I'm not gonna get discouraged. I'm gonna put on this thick wetsuit top, and I'm gonna probably try to start from the corner of the dock. So I'm forced to static start and not to dock start. Because even if when I was trying to static start from the dock, I was subconsciously running on the dock, and I was actually doing dock start. So the next time I will try to start from the corner of the dock, so that I cannot really run. I just have to jump on the board, to give this little push, and jump on the board, and K speed once I'm on the board. The other thing that might be a little bit harder, it's because I'm in fresh water. I'm used to salt water, and the Mediterranean is pretty salty, so the density it's pretty different with fresh water. So this might also affect the dock start. But on the other hand, it's going to be probably easier to pump. Correct me if I'm wrong. Normally, it should be easier to dock start, static start, or pump in a lake, because you have no waves, you have no current, possibly you have no wind, so you have less distractions, alright? But for sure, it's harder to find the focus when you're falling into 9 degrees water. Anyway, I will try my best, I will keep you updated, and hopefully I will start breaking some record now that I'm into fresh water, into this lake. So yeah, as we were discussing in the community, a thick wetsuit, a good quality wetsuit that fits you well, it's fundamental. It's a good investment because only with the right wetsuit you are able to really spend time into water. And that is exactly what we have to do if you want to improve. There is not any other shortcut. We can do physical training, but the most important thing is still to get on the water, even during winter. So go out there, come on.